Liesel was seated across from Isaias at a small table on the patio of his back garden. It was not even 7 in the morning and there was a cool chill in the air. They were drinking hot coffee and sharing breakfast, each in their own thoughts. A text message popped up on her phone from Merlin and she rolled her eyes and quickly deleted it. It seemed he had a new angle he wanted to play. She wasn't interested and she wasn't going to respond. It hurt too much to contemplate. She set her phone back down and dug back into her fruit bowl. Her phone rang and she noted it was her ex-mother-in-law. She sighed and answered it, guilt compelling her to do so. "Hi, Tori. What's going on?" She felt more than heard Isaias' impatience at her for answering the call. "Hello, darling. I wanted to check in on you." "I'm doing great." "I miss you, Liesel," the woman said sadly. "You and I used to go shopping and for lunch a couple of times every month, and I haven't seen you since all of this happened other than the fiasco at your show. I wish I could see you." Liesel stared at the berries floating in her yogurt. "Tori, I can't. You've been my daughter for 8 years. I hate this." Her voice was quiet. She sniffed. "It's not fair. Please have lunch with me." "Tori, you knew," Liesel said quietly. "You knew he cheated with my sister. You all did. Fred told me you all knew for 2 weeks before he asked me for a divorce, and you didn't give me any warning as to what was coming. You had me at your home the night before and pretended everything was fine." "Liesel, there was a possibility the baby wasn't his. Trent told me if I said anything and it turned out it was a false alarm, I'd have ruined your marriage for nothing." "For nothing? For nothing, Tori?" "He slept with her multiple times. I deserve to know. But if there was no baby, you wouldn't be in this mess. You should have told me the truth." Trent said the risk to the stocks and the company were too great. He had known for a long time because Merlin had confided in him about Sandy's behavior. How long did Trent know? 6 months, Tori said quietly. After the 3rd time, Merlin went to Trent to ask him how to manage Sandy. She had shown up at his workplace and threatened to tell you they were sleeping together. Merlin was distressed. Trent and the board discussed it, and they advised Merlin to give her what she wants to ensure you never found out and got hurt. She was going to vomit. The entire board had known. "When did you find out?" "The day Sandy said she was pregnant. I was there at the company when she strolled into Merlin's office and dropped the pregnancy test on his desk. Stupid whore." Liesel blinked at the uncharacteristic language. "You should have told me. If you loved me at all, Tori, you should have told me." "I'm sorry, Liesel. I had to protect the company because Trent said the stocks would have plummeted if news got out about Merlin's indiscretion. In fact, they did. They're only starting to come back now. Ours is a family-run company touting strong family values, and this mess has caused such upheaval." "Fuck the stocks!" Liesel snapped furiously. "My life and my happiness mean more than your stupid company. You have the nerve to call me and tell me you love me and miss me in one breath, and in the next tell me the company is more important? It was a mistake, Liesel." "Those words appear to be the McGrath motto lately," she shot back sarcastically. "Tori, I'm sorry, but I'm still far too angry with all of you to do this. Can't you find it in your heart to forgive me?" "Not today," she said honestly. "I need time, Tori." "Please, Liesel. I know you don't understand, but Trent took this company over from his father. I don't care about the company. You made it more important than me." She was reeling. The board members had known of the affair. "Liesel, without McGrath Industries, Merlin can't afford to give you the life you deserve." She snorted derisively. "Tori, I wouldn't have cared if we were flat broke, living in a shoebox and wearing thrift store chic. I don't need the world, Tori. I need to be loved and respected. None of you can offer me this." "And you think this fellow you're seeing will respect you?" Tori asked quietly. "I saw the video. It didn't seem very respectful to me." "God, Liesel, his hands were up your skirt. They had a board meeting with Merlin to discuss you cavorting with the enemy. It's disgusting he would treat you so crassly." You're out of line, Tori. You don't get to comment on my relationship with Isaias when your own son screwed my sister in her wedding dress and then screwed me in my maid of honor dress the same day. The silence on the other end of the line made her shake her head while she pushed some blueberries around her bowl. I'm sorry, Liesel. I didn't know. Tori said quietly. I didn't know this part. Yeah, well he did. He didn't even shower in between, she recalled the day with disgust. You want to talk respect, Tori, tell me where the respect was in this. I understand why you're upset, Liesel. I do. I wish this had never happened. You and me both. She paused and then shook her head. No, actually, I'm not sorry it happened. Going through all of this has shown me how strong I am and how capable I am of standing on my own 2 feet. My life is on the upswing, Tori. It's not stagnant, boring, and in limbo. I'm happier than I've been in a long time. You can't mean this, Liesel. You loved Merlin so much. Yes. I did, and in devoting my entire heart and life to him, I gave up a huge part of who I am. She sighed. Tori, I have to go. I need to get ready for my shift at the gallery. Don't forget me, Liesel, Tori whispered suddenly. I know you're hurting, but I hope someday you can come back to me, and we can be close again. Tori, you betrayed me. I don't know if I can ever get past it. You kept Merlin's dirty secret for no reason other than to keep your husband's stocks from tanking. I can't forgive you, Tori. I can't forgive any of you. She took a deep breath, ended the call, and dropped her fist to the table angrily. She was gripping her spoon furiously, and she jumped when Isaias spoke, aware she had completely forgotten he'd been sitting there silently while she was on the call. Are you okay? She shook her head. It's been months. I wish they'd fuck off. He chuckled at her words. I bet. She looked up and met his concerned gaze. Sadly, I can't believe Trent knew for 6 months and told Merlin to keep Sandy satisfied in order for me to not find out. All because he wanted to keep his company from facing the scandal. She felt the fury raging in her chest. I hate him. I hate him more than Merlin at this point. He reached out and gently pulled the spoon from her hand and then squeezed her fingers between his. Hey. It's okay. Take a breath, Liesel. She nodded and then spoke quietly. You said your security was going to drive me to work this morning. Do you think they would take me to my storage locker? He appeared confused. Sure. Can I ask why? You're still going to take them down, right? Yes. I've been working behind the scenes, but it's my goal to have taken over McGrath Industries by year-end. She licked her teeth. I'm not very familiar with the inner workings of corporate espionage, but one of the files I had included multiple folders Merlin had on the board of directors. Excuse me? When I went through the files, there was a folder with information he and his father probably used to keep his board in line. I thought it was smarmy, but I don't know much about how shady companies need to be. It's dawning on me, Trent and the board were so worried about his son's infidelities affecting his bottom line. I wonder what would happen if his board of directors all had their secrets spilled. Liesel, are you telling me you have a file Merlin put together on his own board? He had it on my laptop. I moved it and deleted it from the hard drive, and Elsie made sure it wasn't anywhere on the computer. Trent's brothers and uncles all sit on the board, and even one of his aunts. I didn't want to drag people unrelated to the situation into this quagmire, but Tori telling me the entire board of directors knew 6 months before I found out is making me want to ruin them all. How could they tell him to keep fucking my sister, so she'd keep her mouth shut? It is quite fucked up. Isaias was inclined to agree with her assessment. It really is. I want them all to burn. If you are getting your mitts on their private details and it allows you to take the company, his precious company which touts his strong family values, from Trent and make them all suffer, then I want it to happen. She watched as Isaias covered his mouth with his palm as if stunned by what she was revealing. Liesel, Merlin will know where I got it. How? He'd have to prove it came from me. My house got broken into. Nobody knows I removed the information off the computer before it was stolen. The cops told me it was recovered in a pawn shop wiped clean of everything, but they told me it was being held as evidence in the break-in since I said it had no nominal value. I was in a realtor's office when my house was broken into. You want me to use this? I want Trent to pay. I want the board to pay. He encouraged Merlin to keep up his affair with Sandy because of his bloody company. This family is disgusting. I want them to burn. If you're certain. She could feel the excitement oozing off him and she laughed. I'm 100% sure. I will personally escort you to your locker. His eyes were bright and shiny. If she hadn't seen what he'd been eating and drinking, she would have guessed he was drunk. He was so animated. He was almost vibrating. She realized Isaias had been waiting since he was a small boy to get back at Trent McGrath for making him and his family homeless, and this information would put him one step closer to revenge. It gave her perverse pleasure to assist him in reaching his dreams. Do you want the file he has on your company? What now? Isaias was almost standing as he edged his seat. Well, it's on your company and another company out of Texas called Lubbock Enterprises. You've had information on my company all this time? He sat back as if unsure of how he was now feeling. I didn't think you'd need it considering it's your company and you know it inside out. She shrugged. You should have told me. I don't know exactly what is in the file, only that there was one with your company name and one with the Texas company. I would very much like to know what he knows. I'm ready when you are. I might propose. You're so damn sexy, he said as he helped her from her seat and smashed his lips to hers. She groaned as he lifted her clear off the floor and pushed her against the wall of the breakfast nook of the patio, kissing her until she was breathless, needy, and wanting. I want you. Didn't you say you have a board meeting at 8? Yes, but all day long, he ground his hips to hers. I want you to think of how much your devious mind working jointly with mine makes me want you. You are the sexiest woman I've ever met. I'm going to show you later. He grabbed his phone off the table. Go grab what you need to take to work. We're leaving now. What about the mess? She looked behind her to the table as he dragged her excitedly. The housekeeper will get it. Isaias. She giggled at his antics when he barely let her grab her purse, his hands all over her body. At the storage locker company, Liesel was aware of much Isaias wanted the information she had as he paced frantically outside her storage unit. She unlocked it and she moved to the back of the locker and lifted up one of her paintings in a frame. She carried it out. Here. It's a gift for being so considerate of my need for orgasms. He lifted an eyebrow as he studied the artwork, noting a very distinct freckle on the canvas. Liesel, this is your naked torso. Yup. Merlin hated this piece and refused to let me show it. He made me feel very ashamed of it. I have had this storage locker for many years for the art I didn't show. She pointed to sculptures lining shelves. I've kept everything in here he didn't approve of. It's not my best work and really, unless you're intimately acquainted with me and know the mole which is right there, she pointed to her left breast on the canvas, nobody would know it's me. So apart from my family who saw me topless as a small child, my ex-husband and now you, there's not a person on the planet who would know with certainty these are my boobs. You're giving this to me? I am. You can even keep the frame. She smirked, it's hollow and lightweight so it may need to be replaced. Realization coated his features and he smiled suddenly. The frame is a simple wooden frame and definitely not worthy of displaying your magnificence. I'll get a great frame made. I know a gallery in town which does custom work. He winked at her. She giggled. I bet it's on my way to work. He laughed, holding up the artwork to examine it in the sunshine while she locked the storage unit back up. I would very much like to go through your entire collection when we're not as pressed for time. It's not great, to be honest. Many of these pieces I shoved in here because they lacked inspiration. This one is good. He frowned at her. You like it because it's my boobs? She laughed when he shrugged his agreement. He paused. I can't wait to hang it in the bedroom at home. You're going to hang it in the bedroom? Yes. Isn't it where you hung it at your house? She made a face. No. The day Merlin saw it, he told me to get rid of it. He said my body was for his eyes only and I was never allowed to show any work like this ever. He put a loincloth on Michelangelo's David. Isaias shook his head regretfully. How the hell did you live with his conservative misogynistic views? The man is dull. You deserve excitement and passion. And to be able to freely express your creativity in any manner you see fit. If painting your breasts is what inspired you, then good for you. Most women in this country are ashamed of their bodies. I'm proud my woman is happy with her shape. His words touched her heart, and then they caught up to her, and she lifted her eyebrows. Your woman? He grinned and tugged her close to kiss her lips again. You are all mine. Merlin might have fucked up by not appreciating you, but it is not a mistake I will make. You can rest assured I take far better care of the people who are important to me than any of the McGraths could ever dream. They might want you back, but they'll have a hell of a fight on their hands if they try to take you from me. She blinked at the possessive tone to his spiel. Isaias. I don't know what to say. I know it's only been a couple of weeks, sweetheart, but I meant what I said last night. Committed, exclusive, or whatever you want to call it, it is what we are. You are mine. I am yours. We're in a relationship, which is very important and very valuable to me, and I will not let you go without a fight. She stood on tiptoes and kissed his cheek. Come on, my oversized caveman. I need to get to work. You need to attend a board meeting. She grinned cheekily. You know, if you have any other meetings today where you need a competitive edge, you should leave the painting out. It might make people uncomfortable enough to lose focus. When he threw his head back and laughed loudly before swinging her in a circle in his arms, Liesl considered this might be the happiest she had felt in forever. She was standing in her grandmother's living room and groaned. Granny, the light in here is terrible. I wish we could open the curtains. I'm naked under this robe. I don't want the neighbors to see me until the great unveiling. She snickered with her voice raspy from the cigarettes she'd been chain smoking before Liesl arrived. According to Granny, cigarettes and coffee were life's elixir. Personally, Liesl hated the smell of the tobacco, but her granny was her granny. Well, I still think we should go to the backyard where there is lots of light. You could pose on the bench for me so I can take a couple of photos. Her grandmother shivered. It's September. It's cold. It will take only a few minutes. The neighbors will see my hoo-ha. Did you know I had my first Brazilian wax for this? They even waxed my asshole. Oh my God, she felt nauseated thinking of her grandmother getting such a thing done. When your grandfather was alive, he was into the 70s porn bush. Granny, she chastised the woman with a single shake of her finger. Her grandmother was incorrigible and unstoppable. He called it his secret garden. She suddenly wanted more vengeance against Craven and her video for putting her into the situation where she owed her granny this favor. It wasn't that she expected her grandmother not to have been a highly passionate woman with an attentive lover for a husband. No, she had seen firsthand how much her grandfather had doted and loved her. She simply did not want the specifics. Thinking of them doing the nasty felt, well, nasty. She set up a light she'd brought from home and then motioned for her grandmother to sit on the settee. When she was a young girl, she used to come to Granny's house, lay on this specific piece of furniture to read and sketch. She could lay there for hours. Now the memory was tainted because Granny had said she wanted the settee in the photo because it was her grandfather's favorite place to make love. She shuddered as she looked at the velvet-covered furniture, wondering what a blue light would show. Do you truly intend to hang this up in the dining room? Yup. Can you have it done for Thanksgiving? Make it as big as the Last Supper painting I have in there now. I'll take it down and put this up for Thanksgiving. It'll boil your mother's blood. She was the one who gave me the painting in there now. Why do you want to boil her blood? Because she's doing what she always does, and it's bullshit. Granny dropped her robe with no hesitation and stretched out languorously on the settee. She was draping herself over it in a way Liesl suddenly imagined she had seduced her grandfather 1,000 times in his lifetime. Liesl couldn't help but the happy smile tugging at her lips at the notion this home had seen a lot of love. She began clicking with her phone. What do you mean, it's bullshit? Her grand's words caught up with her. When you were a kid, she was always saying you were the older one, the stronger one, the sane one, so it was up to you to take the high road and back down from Sandy. She would give us the crap about how she never had to worry about you because you were so tough, but Sandy's mind was so fragile. She was far needier, so she gave her time to her. It was bullshit. Strong people need support too. Your mother played into Sandy's games from the day the kid could walk and talk. She's still doing it, and it's wrong. Fred says the same thing. I know Dad and Mom used to fight over it a lot when he was alive. Your dad left her once, you know. He took you and Fred and brought you here with me. You stayed a whole month. Liesl frowned. I remember coming here and staying a long time and not seeing Mom. I never knew it was because of me. It wasn't because of you. It was because of your mom and what she did with Sandy. Sandy went too far. You were 8 or 9 and she would have been 6 or 7. She was old enough to know better, that's for sure. You had gotten one of those snow globes which makes music for Christmas, and she wanted it. Your father put his foot down and said under no circumstances were you to give up the snow globe your aunt had brought you back from Europe. Sandy had gotten a set of nesting dolls, Fred got some kind of car, and you got the snow globe. The little brat wanted it. When your father said no, she took it when he wasn't looking, and she broke it. Liesl frowned as she tried to recall the snow globe and this story. I don't remember this. Well, probably because she broke it after she bashed you on the head with it. You were sitting on your little beanbag chair watching the television. She walked right up behind you. Your father raced to stop her. He said he could see it all happening in slow motion. She bashed you over the head. You slumped over unconscious and then she slammed the thing to the hardwood floor. I don't remember this at all. No, because you had a concussion and were in the hospital 3 days. Your father was pissed because your mom kept saying Sandy didn't mean it, but he'd watched her walk straight up to you. He went back a month later because the counselor blamed Sandy's behavior on him not being as supportive to Sandy as he was to you and Fred. 6 months later, the counselor apologized to your father, said Sandy was a sociopath and he refused to treat her anymore. What did she do to the counselor? Accused him of inappropriate touching. The thing was, he was never once alone with her. She made it up and everyone knew it. She didn't like him telling her how to behave. She's a menace. Your father loved her, but he was terrified of her. He frequently worried she would kill you. I know for a fact, if he were alive today, he would have disowned her, and your parents would be divorced. They loved each other, Liesl protested. Your father loved your mother very much, but Sandy drove a giant wedge between them, sweetheart. Even the strongest of oaks can die from the smallest of poison. We all tried to help, but your sister is a hard person to love, Liesl. She was just a kid. At one time, when she was small, I agreed with you. Your mother made the situation worse by covering her actions and not correcting her and making you her scapegoat. By the time she was in school, the entire family was so sick of your mom and Sandy. Sandy was harshest with you, but she was a bully to all of her cousins too. She pushed one of the babies down from the top of the slide at the play park and his arm got broken. She stole $200 from your uncle's wallet and blamed it on his daughter Becca, and when the truth came out, she started swinging her fists and blackened Becca's eye. It took 3 adults to pull a 10-year-old off 13-year-old Becca. Mental illness is no laughing matter, but your sister is a lost cause. She needs to be medicated under the supervision of a professional. Liesl nodded. I'm worried for their ugly baby. Granny chuckled. All babies are cute, Liesl. You'll love your nephew. Of this, I'm sure. It's not in you to begrudge a child because of its parents. Merlin confessed he intends to divorce Sandy when the baby is born. He asked me to go back to him and help him raise it. Granny gasped, sitting up abruptly on the settee, her breasts bouncing. Tell me you told him to fuck off. More than once. I can't tell Sandy because she's constantly threatening to abort the child and, she sighed, you're right, I can't hate a child. It's not his fault his parents are douche canoes. I have no intention of ever going near Merlin or the McGrath family again. I hope he does leave her, and his child is raised by him and his parents in a loving home away from Sandy. I simply won't be part of it at all. Good girl. Her grandmother reclined again. Now hurry up and take these photos. My nips are so cold they could cut glass.